Hey YouTube, how we doing? Thanks for watching another one of my Chattahoochee River videos. In this one we're going to talk about kayaking or paddling from McGinnis Ferry Road down to Abbotts Bridge Park. I get asked all the time, hey, I'm new to kayaking, or I've never been on the Chattahoochee River before. You know, what section of the river would you recommend I go on? You know, it's easy, get my experience, kind of figure out what to expect, you know, before I get into doing longer stretches or stretches that have rapids. And usually I recommend folks go to McGinnis Ferry to Abbotts Bridge. Oh, so before we dive into, the walkthrough, stop it so you can see how long this is. This is going to be, if you paddle all the way through, you can probably do it in just over 2 hours. If you barely paddle at all, you're looking at 3.5 hours, 3 hours and 45 minutes. Also, check the water release times before you get out on the water. Do not paddle the Chattahoochee River when they're releasing water from Buford Dam. It's very dangerous. So, here we are, McGinnis Ferry Road, Abbotts Bridge Park, and before we get into this, I want to show you this picture that hit my Facebook feed today. This is a 10.5-pound brown trout taken by the Department of Natural Resources here in Georgia out of the Chattahoochee River. Apparently the story is that it had a stringer hanging out of his mouth and a stocker trout on the stringer in the fish's gullet. So if you're going to hit the hooch and you want to catch some big fish, throw trout patterns. Alright, here's a stretch of the river, McGinnis Ferry to Abbotts Bridge Road. Okay, here's the park. Best way to handle this is bring a buddy with you. You know, 2 vehicles, leave 1 vehicle down at Abbotts Bridge, load up the other vehicle, bring it up here to McGinnis Ferry, and then put in. This way, when you get down to Abbotts Bridge, you know, you have a truck or a car or transportation there waiting on you. So you put in here at the boat ramp, and this is pretty much boat ramp to boat ramp. As you can see, I don't see any of the rocks that I normally see around this area, so I think this satellite imagery is showing the water at being released, you know, from the dam, a heavy flow. So as we go down, a lot of this, when the water's not being released, is just slack water. Like I mentioned before, fallen timber on both sides of the river all the way down. It's a characteristic of this particular river. Nice and easy, nice and gentle, no rapids. The first landmark you're going to get to is Swanee Creek. Swanee Creek, Chattahoochee River confluence, I'm guessing. Swanee Creek is, you know, it has their silt in the water, so it's definitely stained or discolored. And the water temperature in Swanee Creek is going to be a lot higher than it is in the Chattahoochee River. Incidentally, you know, there's going to be a temperature line that comes out here, and there's always trout. Other fish species, but trout too, in this area, and they're eating, you know, minnows that are coming down not only the Chattahoochee River or crawfish, but also coming out of the Swanee Creek. So this is a feeder creek to the Chattahoochee River, and it's usually a good spot to fish. So we're going to go on down. As you see, there's all sorts of timber in the water. Great spots to fish. That's where those big browns like to hang out. Your next landmark is going to be Rogers Bridge. Looks just like Settles Bridge. No longer in use. Single lane, old rusty bridge that goes over the Chattahoochee River. There's a picture here that I wanted to show you that is, I don't know, kind of what not to do. Here we go. Alright, here's the bridge in its current condition. Here's the water at full, not really full pull, but being released from the dam. And here's a guy who's walking out onto this bridge over this extremely dangerous water when it's being released. So this is an image here on Google Earth, and this is an image of what not to do. Okay, we're going to keep going down. Golf courses, houses, agricultural land, no rapids. Here's a big turn in the river. It gets deep along this side, and there's all sorts of fallen timber in this deep area. This is a great spot to fish. We're going to go down. No rapids. Here's another little feeder creek. I don't know what this one's called, but it empties into the Chattahoochee River, and these are areas, whenever you see these little creek areas going into a larger body of water, it's generally a great place to fish. I always fish this and catch a handful of trout right in this area, right below this feeder creek. Here's Abbotts Bridge. We're already there. Another 400 yards past this on the left is Abbotts Bridge Park and boat ramp. There's generally quite a few people hanging out around Abbotts Bridge Park. And here's the boat ramp. So in this float, you're going boat ramp to boat ramp. It's real short, real easy, and if you're new to this or just trying to get into it and get some experience, this is a great little, starter adventure for you.